Hello and welcome to Mr. Peacock Square Plays of week number 10. Football against the number. Can you believe I'm coming back live from Midtown Atlanta? Folks, I got to talk about last week. Let's just say I am glad to bid adieu to the month of October. It did not go very well for Mr. Peacock, and consequently we now find ourselves 2 games under 500 on the overall season at 18-20. Last week 1-3. For the first time all year, not good on Thursday night. We had the Pitt Panthers catching a couple at home against North Carolina. No did cover. We had Texas Christian and West Virginia over 75. Final score on that one's 40-10. We did cover the under in Penn State, Illinois of 43, 39-0. And I saw that score as soon as I got into Everbank Field, Everbank Stadium, or whatever they call it down in Jacksonville. I saw that score on the Jumbotron. I pumped my fist and I said, all right, this day is going to turn out all right for Mr. Peacock. And yeah, the good vibrations stopped right about there football-wise. So Kentucky in late action catching 8.5, not close to covering either. So like I say, I'm really glad to turn the calendar over. We were good in September. We're going to be really good in November, and we're going to wind up this season profitable. I can promise you that. Folks, game number 1 of this week 10. We are getting on the airplane. I guess we got to get on the airplane. It'd be a kind of long drive. Yeah, we're getting on the airplane. We've made enough money this year. We can afford a plane ticket. We're going to Memphis, Tennessee, folks, where I like the Memphis Tigers in a 7 p.m. start, laying 7.5 points at home against the United States Navy. I'm well aware that Navy is 6-1 on the season. I'm well aware that Navy runs an offense that allows them to bleed the clock down. I'm well aware that Memphis has Houston on deck. I'm aware of all of those things. In October, Mr. Peacock would have taken Navy in this spot. The November wiser Mr. Peacock has taken Memphis, however. I think what you're going to see happen in this game, I think you're going to see Memphis open the thing up early. They got off to a real slow start last week against Tulane. I think their coaches are going to challenge them to get off to a faster start this week. I think they're going to jump Navy early. I think they're going to take Navy out of their offense. And I think Memphis is going to cruise to a pretty easy win. When you're playing teams like Navy, really the first 20 minutes of the ball game is the most important if you think about it. And I think that Memphis is really going to capitalize on that on Saturday night. Navy has scored 24 and 28 points in their 2 road games this year against both UConn and Notre Dame. That's respectable. Those are respectable totals, especially the one against Notre Dame. 28 points is not going to cover the spread for Navy in this one, though, I don't believe. So take the Memphis Tigers laying 7.5 points. Their march toward the college football playoff continues. Game number 2, we're going to Norman, Oklahoma, folks. I've driven through there before. 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. local. I like Boomer Sooner laying 25 points at home against Iowa State. I think a lot of people kind of swept Oklahoma under the rug after their loss to Texas. You can understand why. Texas is a bad team. But Oklahoma's responded by very quietly playing some very, very good football since then. And they just absolutely blasted Kansas State and Kansas the last 2 weeks. And Oklahoma really kind of looks like they're on a mission. They're a much, much better team than they showed in the Red River Shootout. And like I say, I really think that they're rolling. Iowa State's coming off of a big win last week against Texas. I don't think they're going to be able to duplicate that 2 weeks in a row. I think this is going to be probably about a 49-10 kind of win for Oklahoma. It's been a little while since Iowa State's seen an offense like Oklahoma's. Every good offense that Iowa State has seen this year has lit them up pretty good. So, again, Oklahoma Sooners minus 25 points in Norman. Game number 3. We're going to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, folks. I've been there. 7 p.m. local, 8 p.m. Eastern. Vernon Gary, can they stay awake this late? I like the Alabama Crimson Tide laying 7 points at home against LSU. This is a game that we missed 2 years in a row. Not going to miss it this year, though. 6.5 last year. I took LSU at home, and I really got moosed in that thing in overtime, so it's hard for me to count that one as a loss. Look, the bottom line, Alabama's just a much better team here, and LSU's done some good things this year. They've gotten off to a real good start. I think LSU's going to get exposed a little bit on Saturday night. Defensively, I think LSU's defense is especially, and LSU's offense for that matter too. I think it's going to be a tough deal for LSU to score some points. I think that LSU's going to hang around in this game until about the middle of the 3rd quarter, and then I think Alabama's going to take it over. since Bama lost to Ole Miss, they have really been firing on all cylinders. I think Bama, they may not be as talented as they were last year, or they may be, but they're a better team than they were last year. They just seem like they're a little bit saltier to me. People keep asking, can Jay Coker go out and win this game and all that kind of stuff? Can Brandon Jennings go out and win it? I mean, that's the question that, that's the question that I have about this thing. I don't love either one of the quarterbacks, but I like Coker playing at home a whole lot better. So, I think this is going to look a little bit like the last time they were here in 2013, where Bama's going to pull away late, 38-21, something like that, something in that neighborhood. Game number 4, we are going to Eugene, Oregon, folks, for a late start, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. local. I like the California Golden Bears catching 4.5 points on the road at Oregon. Folks, I will point out that Cal is 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 games as a conference away dog. Oregon is 0-4 against the spread this year at home. Oregon's been playing better since Utah put that pasting on them a couple weeks ago, but I think it's a little bit of a mirage. Oregon's coming off of a big win last week against Kansas State, or against Arizona State, excuse me. Cal's just a sneaky good team. I think that Cal is really, really going to exploit what is a bad Oregon defense. I almost played the over on this one, but I just kind of like Cal on the points a little bit better. So take the Cal Bears catching 4.5 points on the road at Eugene, Oregon. Turning now to our mailbag. This week's letter comes to us from Francois from Kenner, Louisiana. And Francois writes, who that say they're going to beat them Saints? Well, Francois, a lot of people say that, and then a lot of people follow through with it. So real quick, to recap, week number 10, we like the Memphis Tigers. Folks, you can sleep as late as you want to on Saturday. I don't want to subject you to the Georgia Bulldogs kicking the thing off at noontime. All my plays start at 7 p.m. or later. Go out and get ripped tonight. You can sleep all day tomorrow. The real action starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. I like the Memphis Tigers laying 7.5 points at home against the United States Navy. I like the Oklahoma Sooners laying 25 points at home against Iowa State, the Cyclones. I like the Alabama Crimson Tide laying 7 points at home against LSU. And finally, I like the Cal Bears, because these are not the chalk plays of the week. I like the Cal Bears catching 4.5 points on the road at Oregon. So we wish you the best of luck. Folks, we're going to get this ship turned. I feel really good about the month of November, and I can't wait to see you next week.